Talk to you today. What's happening, y'all? Camera bouncing like a motherfucker. All right. We're going to be a little all over the place today, so, you know, kind of the normal thing. So, last week I was talking about Aaron had lent me a knife. I wanted to go into it, but I don't know, a lot more shit that I wanted to talk about last week. But he lent me this marauder, and this is a midi marauder, but not the slim. This is still the full-size marauder. And I guess it was done, this laser work and the polish on the D2 is done by, or done for a certain retailer. I'm not sure which one. He told me, or he said he knew, but I don't remember which one it was. But anyway, I'd never checked out. I know a lot of the slim midis are more popular than this regular midi, but I like this. I like the big ones, and I like the kind of small, chunkier ones. And to put things in perspective, because I didn't know what size this was. This is the RMP, and you can see that they're pretty similar as far as like overall size. The midi is actually slightly longer, but like thickness wise and that sort of thing, you can see it's pretty close to the same stock. I didn't caliper it, but pretty close to the same stock. And y'all know I love this RMP. This is a cool little tank of a knife, and I kind of think this is like almost in the same realm there. You know, because of the polish, and this is the old style, the way Medford used to do stuff, there's some stuff that has definitely been improved upon, like detent wise and that sort of thing with the newer ones, but it still flicks very well. I have no problem getting to that. It is a little slick because of the, you know, it's not really, some of the new Medfords have that kind of step back in there, a little sharper. So it doesn't have that sharpness on there. But yeah, cool knife, man. Really cool knife. Wasn't really sure about the laser and stuff, but it adds a little bit of traction to your hand. So from this direction, I like it a lot. It's kind of like that DSK that I got recently that has that traction on it. Like, it's the same kind of way. It's like, it adds a cool little factor of something different on the knife, but also gives you a little bit of traction too. So overall, I really dig this knife. And I sent a few Aaron's way, let him check out a few. We may end up working out a deal on this one if he wants to. He said he really hadn't used it, and I used it to open in the package today. I got it, so I feel like that, I don't know, if he's not using it, I'll definitely got to put it to use. So Aaron and I'll hash that out, and we'll figure out something if he's interested. No pressure one way or the other from me. No, I'm not really looking to add or move anything, but you know, somebody hits you up and wants stuff. Like I think Steve said that somebody hit him up asking about that Tanto Sabenza that I had borrowed from him a while back, and he sold it to whoever that dude was. Hit him up. I'm kind of the same way. Like, there's some stuff I'm not selling, but for the most part, like, if somebody hits you up and really wants it, I don't care. Go ahead, man. Whatever. For another size reference, because my buddy Ion and Zed suggested I started showing size comparisons, but I'm not really a reviewer, but I'm going to show you for comparison reasons. This is a Eclipse, so you can see it's pretty close to the same size as Eclipse, a little bit shorter, but definitely a thicker guy than the Eclipse is. I can get close enough to show you. There we go. Close enough. All right. So definitely a thicker guy, and just a little bit stubbier, but not too much. In the hand, to me, the Eclipse is a much thinner feeling knife than the midi. And we'll compare it again to CRK. For the CRK guys, Unumzon is longer, but definitely thinner, and thinner this way as well. Way thinner this way. All right, good enough for the comparisons. Good enough talking about that one for a minute. All right. But y'all know I love my Medfords, man. So I don't know, man. Is there a number of Medfords you can get in your collection before you are dissatisfied with them? I don't know. Like, I pretty much like all my Medfords. I don't use, you know, certain models more than other certain models, or I do use certain models more, but I still like to collect them. So I'm down with Medfords. I think for me and how I collect knives, like, I used to be a huge ZT guy, but ZT seemingly, you know, quit making anything anybody cares about, at least as of lately anyhow. So I've been pretty much focused on more or less collecting more Medfords, I guess, than ZTs, and pretty much sold most of my ZTs at this point. So that one was lent in. A couple more of these lent in. These two were kind of surprised. And if y'all don't follow JD already, JD for EDC on YouTube and Instagram, he's a brother of mine, and we don't necessarily agree with all the styles of knives. Like, he's definitely well more versed in the more budget realm and more mid-range and that sort of thing. But he's got a good background coming from knives and stuff, and I like most of his thoughts and ideas about knives. So anyway, he lent in these cases, these are American made. Basically, I would call them budget knives, but I don't know if everybody would or not. So I'm reluctant to call it budget knife, but a less expensive knife. How about that? I think this is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive, and this was in Magna Cut. And honestly, man, like I don't. This is not a knife I would carry personally. Like it's just not. I dig it. I really wanted to check it out to see what kind of quality it was. And if y'all hadn't seen one of these, I highly recommend checking one out. JD's got a much better review than you're going to hear here. Go check his review out of this actual knife. But Hot Rod wanted to carry it for a day, and I didn't figure JD really care. She threw it in her pocket because she's not like she's really going to use a whole ton of it. She's more or less just carried it, flipped it, the feel of it. Visually, she likes the blue. She told me to tell you that she hates the play school insert. That's what she says, man. So she liked it. She liked it a lot. She said the jimping wasn't too functional, but she likes the look of it, and it looks more important than the function. What else did she say? I can't remember what else was. She likes how the action feels on it. It's got, you know, for surprisingly, this is aluminum. It's got pretty good feel. For me, this is a bigger, substantial knife, so it feels better in hand. But like for something about the way this lock bar disengages, this black one just has a little bit more feel to it for me. I forgot what either one of these names are, but if you go to JD for EDC's channel and look at them, you'll see his reviews, and they're way cool. And I definitely appreciate checking them out. So thanks for sending them in, JD. I really do appreciate sending them. I'll send them back to you next round of stuff whenever we do that. I had bought these two sons from Chris Cue Ball a while back at the last AZ knife meetup. He was kind of trying to sell some stuff to generate some funds to help pay for some veterinarian bills, whatever else. So, you know, and I've been kind of intrigued by a lot of the Tucson's as far as the machine quality and that sort of thing goes. So I bought this a while back, but I sent this to JD, and he ended up anodizing it. So this is now green, really light green. It's kind of like a blue purple. Pivot collar, thumb stud, back spacer, and pocket clip. He did an awesome job ano on it. And so I'm not like a huge ano guy. I think everybody pretty much knows that at this point. I've never pulled punches about me not being a colorful person. As far as the knives go, the more plain, the better for me, more likely. I say that, but I got so many other little weird things that, yeah, we're all different, I guess. But it's a cool knife, and he actually tuned it too. Like before, I remembered it being kind of less of a cool knife. So he cleaned it, tuned it, did a great job on it. So appreciate you doing the work, JD. I think we're gonna give this one away. I'm just not sure how I want to do it yet. So stay tuned. We'll eventually put this on one of you guys' hands, or I don't know, somebody's needs a knife or something. But you know, sorry, as I remember things, I gotta kind of spit them in them. The Blades Over 250 Facebook group, someone had legitimately asked, like, why buy American? Like, why is it important? And you know, it's always a political thing, and I try to keep the politics out of this shit. This is fun, man. So like, if it's about the politics, or you know, however you want to look at it, to me it should be about fun. But anyway, like I don't seek out to buy Chinese knives. I've bought Chinese knives, and I probably will buy some again. But I just try to predominantly buy American made knives for my own reasons. But someone on that Blades Over 250 Facebook group had asked, like, legitimately, like, why? And I thought that was like, it was a good discussion. So if you get a chance to go over there and read some of that stuff, then I highly recommend going over there and checking it out. That group has been awesome. That's the reason I pretty much joined Facebook. I try to join, well, I kind of sort of was in on a live a little bit, more or less on a with Devin and Daniel. And it's fun. I just wish I could have hung out longer, but it's work at night. We got back in time to like just pop in for half a second. I think I was on there for maybe an hour or something like that, which is more than I usually have time for. I'm rambling like a motherfucker, but this guy's had a lot of good comments about American made and why American made is important to them. So once again, great source entertainment, I guess you would say. All right, so you may or may not remember, depending on how long you watch this channel, I had bought this Crusader a long time ago. Actually, it's been probably 6 months ago or something. And when I got it, I wasn't really sure about it. The main complaint I had, well, two main complaints. One was lock stick, which I'm not 100% sure is fixed or not fixed at this point. And the second was how thick the grind was. Like, behind the edge was ridiculous, right? It was totally ridiculous, not usable or anything. So I sent it to my buddy Cuddy Cuts, Mike Cuddy, on Instagram. Mike has a lot of really high-end folders. At least it did at the time. He showed a lot of his stuff. But Mike got into knife making, and I figured something like that is in the similar folders that I am. I'm going to send him this knife and then see what he can come up with. So I told him originally I just wanted a hollow ground. I don't really care how, just hook it up. And the factory grind was so bad, you really couldn't have fucked it up worse than it already was. It was just so thick. Like, I tried to put a 30-degree bevel on it. It was, I don't know, super wide and super thick behind it. It's just really not useful. So he did a regrind for me. Dude, look at how awesome that shit came out. I hope this really does pick up in the light. The plunge grind, how smooth that is. Mike absolutely killed this shit. It looks so fucking good. He nailed it, dude. He nailed it. It really looks good. Nice and thin. It's not like slicey. It's proportionate for what the knife should be. It's just a good old thick chunky knife, you know. It's like here for reference, a sawtooth. So, you know, it's about the same thickness as a sawtooth. Maybe slightly thicker tie on the sides, but the blade stock and stuff is pretty close. Just nice big broad knife. But he put a nice good edge on it. Couldn't be happier with that regrind, man. It just came out so freaking awesome. So happy with it. Mike, if you watch this, man, I definitely appreciate you, bro. Thanks for hooking it up. But this one came out phenomenal. So this was definitely going back in the rotation. Crusaders are kind of that love-hate thing. They got kind of a, let's see how to put this back. It's not like the fine-tuned machining that you're going to get on some other, it reminds me of like, well, see the newer ones, like, this is probably a bad example too, but like a lot of the DSKs are kind of that, they got a lot of that hand element. This is not really one because it's so precision, but as far as like the milling pattern and that stuff goes, but a lot of his stuff was like, you know, hand, like these edges are right here done by hand. It's not CNC'd, it's not machined like on a precision wheel. It's done, well, it's precision, I guess, but not by machine, but by hand. And that's a lot what this Crusader is like. And I'm not trying to make this a Crusader review. I'm just kind of giving you thoughts on it as it's coming back, because I'm probably not going to remember what I think about it 4 weeks from now anyhow, knowing me. But overall, it's been a real fun knife to have back in the collection. I kind of missed it, man, and I had an opportunity to snag another Fears for Prey, which is what this is, and I can't do this shit left-handed at all, so let's switch hands for a minute. So, load this thing. It's got a little different whack to it. It's a bearing knife, but it's the least bearing knife that that's like that DSK that I sent Steve. You know, if you watch Steve's video about him taking it out a GF2, it's like that. It's a bearing knife, but it kind of doesn't feel like a bearing knife. It kind of has a little bit more resistance because the pivots come down a little bit, and how they machine those pockets just gives a little more drag. And I like that for the knife like this. If this thing was a drop shut knife, it'd be dangerous, man. I like much more the control of that. So it very much emulates, you know, a phosphor bronze style, but still being on bearings. Dig the Crusaders, man. So this is my Fears for Prey's back. I wasn't even sure if, you know, something would happen to the two-tone. This is in 3V. It's almost keep it just like this. Like, I think it looks awesome. The two-tone like that. I think at first I'd considered, you know, getting the blade Cerakoted, but it's just so awesome. I love seeing those grind lines. It looks so sick, man. This is another one of those badass hologrinds that if I did the hologram video again, this wouldn't be in it. But it's, you know, overall, you know, completely, I'd say polar opposite of what this would be, even though the functionally look at the same. They both got flippers and holes, and you can finger flick them and stuff like this, but the Skyke is a much more precision machine. You can see like the work in this one, how the edges are perfectly done on a machine, and you can look at the edge on this one and see it's done by hand. Like there's hands down no comparison about the style of machine that's been done to this versus this. Like this is awesome from a machinist point of view. This is a lot more hand done, so it depends on what you value. I kind of like both, I guess. As a machinist, sometimes I get bored of seeing the same shit and rating shit as a machinist. So I kind of like the hand element. That's kind of why I like DSK so much too. It's like they have the elements that you need to make a good knife, but then they finish it how they want to finish it, and it's kind of more of the human touch, and I kind of like that too. Like the imperfection is what makes it, I guess, at a certain point. But it's kind of like I don't know, what you get into, like the CRKs, like, they're so precise. Like, they're so precise of an instrument that it's like you can't really fault them for anything. Like, I did the dual thumb stud mod on this one, which I posted that video yesterday, and I forgot to say a bunch of shit, but, you know, I always do. But just by changing the studs, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't even like this knife because of the studs on it, but I like it. But it's such a precision machine part, such a precision made piece that I get that there's really not a whole lot you really want to change on something like that. Man, I'm just rambling. Let's just call it there, man. Yeah, y'all have a good week. We'll see y'all next week. I'll figure out something else to talk about next week, I'm sure. All right, y'all. Be cool. Later.